Live. It is time for Sensei Chat. All right. It's Friday, June 21st. It is 11:30 here in Honolulu. I hope you all are having a fantastic week. We have a big few weekends ahead of us. July 4th is around the corner, and I know it's a big holiday for a lot of U.S. people, and I hope you guys travel safely and all that jazz. Today, we're going to get into a lot of updates. I have stuff about Ethereum. I have stuff about DeFi. I have stuff about Solana. We're going to touch on some meme coin information. I got a really good show lined up for you guys. We are going to get into all this information, and I hope you guys learned something. That's what we're here to do, is educate you on the crypto market. And oh, Lady Trader is going to join us too. I love that. I got sound now. Hey, lady, good to see you. How are you?
Hey, doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to see you. It's always a pleasure to see you. We're gonna go through this information. I'd love for you to give feedback when you have it. That'd be great.
Absolutely. Glad to be here. One question, is this open to everybody, this chat, or is it the members only?
So usually Fridays members only, but we're going to open it to everybody. I think Tuesdays and Fridays, because the crypto market's a little bit of in the lull right now. I think just opening up to everybody. I mean, I think members know the real kind of alpha stuff is kind of shared behind closed doors in all of the the channels that we have here. So we'll open up these chats to everyone just to bring more people in. So feel free to invite anybody you want. People should be able to come in.
Perfect. Yeah, because I'm gonna just pin it in my alpha seedlings group also.
You are the best. All right, let's take a look at what the current market is. If you look at the crypto bubbles, we are still in a kind of a downtrend here with altcoins. When you look at a little bit more of a easier view here, the top 100. Pendle. And I'm going to talk about this, right? Pendle, Lido, liquid staking protocols. You also have AI, Fetch, Ajax. I probably Ocean might be up here too because of the big merger that's coming up. I do see a lot of exchanges getting ready for the merger. That's going to be really exciting. I did have people say, hey, when is Twin Protocol launching? In my personal opinion, what I think Twin is waiting for here is, I think they have to wait for is this merger to happen. Lady Trader is here. She might be able to shine some light on this. Lady, do you have any updates on, is Twin waiting for this big merger?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that are happening in Twin Protocol world. So lots of partnerships that we are doing. There is definitely exchange applications that are ongoing, as well as Launchpad discussions, and then definitely that ASI merger. I mean, it's the biggest thing that's happening right now in the AI world and the crypto world. And Twin Protocol will be the first token that's launching right after that merger. So that makes it basically the first ecosystem partner of ASI, which is a huge deal to the team. But yeah, I mean, that part of that, and then also market conditions, everything. I mean, it's going to happen definitely, and that's what everybody's focusing on. But I mean, look at all of the partnerships that they're forming. Check out the Twitter and see all of the updates that are happening right now. It's just absolutely phenomenal, all the progress that they're making.
I love that. And personally, one of the hardest things any new crypto project or existing one can do is market, right? And that is always a challenge, because sometimes it's more of a financial challenge, but other times it's just being able to connect with the community and getting your message out. Because of this merger is so big, and the whole world, crypto news services and probably other news services are going to want to cover this. Launching on the back of all of that excitement is something you really can't buy. It really is one of those very unique moments for a crypto project to be able to launch off of all of that positive news. And so I just think they picked a really good time to do all of this. And maybe it was in the cards from a long time ago. We just didn't have the alpha back then, but I'm really, really excited to see where this is going. I also wanted to put out some announcements. We are going to be closing the Biga seed round here probably tomorrow. This is going to be the last chance. Biga Arcade thinks that they have PTE, the PDE model figured out for gaming. This is a very unique gaming project. I do think as the market comes back, as retail comes back, Biga does have a place. And if they can really get some traction with some of their games that they have already built, and they can get people playing these games, talking about these games, I think they can be actually very successful. So that's still the opportunity. Check the Seed Rounds channel out for that information. We're also going to have Meta Studio in next Friday, 4 AMA. I'm going to have the CEO Carlos here. He's going to talk to us about what they're doing. They are offering a public seed round for this project. This is interesting. They're doing a combination here of a gaming hub with gambling, right? And so two of people's favorite things to do: play games and gamble. And so this is going to be a pretty interesting conversation. They do have a really unique market model that we're going to talk about next Friday. I just want to give you an update on that. So when we are looking at the numbers, right, this is a great little tweet thread here that was put together. The bull run hasn't even started yet. Don't get shaken out. In 2016, Bitcoin had a 30% correction post-halving. In 2020, Bitcoin had a 20% correction post-halving. Alts went parabolic a few months later. It says, it talks a little bit about their journey and kind of where we are right now. But I wanted to ask Lady Trader, what are your thoughts? I mean, is this to be expected, the area in the market that we're in right now, or is this something new?
It's exactly, I mean, what we are expecting. But one thing that did happen this time is that we are already above the all-time highs,
Yes.
or close to all-time highs, right? We did break all-time highs, which is not something that happened during the last bull market. We actually had to wait until towards the end of the year to actually break that, that goal. And so this time we are there early, which means that we are expecting explosive moves that we did not see. Like, it's going to be bigger than what we saw last bull run. Adoption is going to be much bigger this time because there's going to be a lot of Web 2 companies that are going to be joining Web 3, and a lot of basically funds that are going to be coming in through pension. Like, that's the biggest deal this crypto bull run. And so lots of institutional funding going into crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's going to be more ETFs coming out. There's going to be more ETFs. There's going to be altcoin ETF. Most likely, there's going to be Solana ETF, most likely. So keep an eye on those trends. And I mean, you already know meme coin ETF. I'm still counting on that. So there's going to be all of those ETFs, gaming, AI, blockchain. I mean, there's going to be those categorical ETFs that we could potentially see this bull run, and it's going to be phenomenal. But this is like right on point. This is what I've been talking about, since like before 2021. Like, this is exactly what we were talking about. And so now we are so incredibly lucky that we have the data. Like, it goes back since the beginning of when the Bitcoin was created, and it's continuing. It's showing us that this is cycle that works over and over again. We just want to make sure that we protect ourselves, for 2026. But I think this is great.
I love that. And also there's some lessons here, right? I lost a lot of money last bull market because I wasn't prepared for the bear market. That was my first bull market. I was still learning a lot about crypto, and you definitely want to have a plan for any asset that you're in. Take advantage of when retail really starts to come back, institutions really start to come back and start pushing this market to just insane heights. Make sure you have a plan to get out, because if you don't get out, you're going to be holding those bags until the next bull market, which could be years away. Just please take some advice from somebody that has been through the ringer on this. Take some advice and make sure you take your profits. But this is a great clip. Information. Only one of these has more value than 99% of all coins. You have Solana, AVAX, Immutable X, Injective, Tau, Link, Ajax, POW, and Near. I like a lot of these projects. I know I'm not too big on projects that were around last bull market. I do think they're going to do well. I just think there's so many new things to take a look around and go around that having a community is very important. And I think that people tend to move on when things aren't maybe as exciting with the project. So you really want to take advantage of when things get really, really good for a project and the excitement is there and people are FOMOing. That's a really good time to make sure that you're taking profits. But a lot of these projects, I'd imagine, are going to do extremely well in this cycle. The fair value model is the most sustainable for the development of crypto. Low float, high FDV is the easiest way to keep this industry looking like a massive cash grab. That and meme coins to large extent. So, lady, when you're, since there is so many projects to that are launching, that have already been around, like, what are you looking for? What are the key things that you look for when you get into a brand, like, it's not a brand new crypto project, but I'd imagine like, a project that is launching, like, what are those key metrics that you look for saying, hey, might be a good investment for my portfolio? Do you have anything to share on that?
Absolutely. I mean, you want to look at the FDV, right? You don't want to get into something that has a crazy amount of FDV, like, it's launching at 200, 300 mil market cap FDV. I mean, you want to stay away from those. You want to look for opportunities that gives you an early entry. Anything under, if you can find something under 10 mil FDV, I mean, that's a steal, which is not happening very often. And then you want to start looking at the backers, like who are the backers? Is it Binance Lab? Is it others? But one thing that we also have to remember nowadays, I mean, going back to 2021 and all of the lessons that we've learned from 2020, 2021, if you guys remember ICP, I mean, it was so hyped, right? Everybody was going to make money off of it, and then it had like a big pump initially, and then look at what happened. It continued to you see, look at this, exactly, this is what I'm talking about. Now imagine if you bought it $400. It got crushed, like it got completely during the bull market. I mean, guys, this is what's happening right now in the crypto market. This is what most of the charts are going to be looking like, because they have a huge amount of tokens that are still locked up. VCs are going to start selling their positions. If you want to get crushed like that, then then get into those opportunities. So we just have to be cautious there. And I do think that there's going to be a big trend, and this is something I haven't shared publicly yet, but I'm going to do it here right now with Cryptonairz. So one thing that I'm thinking, this is the ultimate alpha. Okay, I always look, right? So what I do, part of my alpha hunting strategy is identifying trends early on. And a lot of times it's like me just kind of thinking, focusing and figuring out, okay, what's going to be the next big thing? Here's what I think is going to be next big thing. I think people are going to be looking for projects that are already launched, that have most of their supplies in circulation, that don't have a huge lockups by VCs, that don't have huge amount of tokens that are going to be unlocked. And so those are going to be major plays, I think, this bull run. And we need to start looking for those opportunities, finding those opportunities, and then saying, okay, this looks good because it has, over 50% supply is already in circulation. Looks like the chart is bottomed out already. It's not bleeding. Might be chance for us to get in, or 60% circulation or 80% circulation. I mean, heck, there's going to be projects that are 100% in circulation, and maybe only people who have, locked up supply are the ones that are staking, right? And so, but ICP was like one of those lessons for a lot of people. Thankfully, I was not one of them. But this was, I remembered like how people were so bullish. This was going to $1,000 and more. This is gonna be $1,000. It's like, guys, no. And then next thing you know, it started to get crushed, and then it continued during the bull market. I mean, this is a shame, and this is something that we need to avoid. Take lessons from this bull market. And so definitely be cautious about any opportunity that gets thrown your way. Seed, private sales, I mean, do a lot of due diligence. Now obviously there's going to be a lot of plays that are going to do really, really good in that area too. And there are other good projects that have already launched. Look for those that actually did IDO in 2021. Maybe they will come back because they are fully in circulation. Check what their team has been doing. Like if there was a team, let's say a project launched in 2021, and we are in 2022, which was the bear market, you go back and check their socials, see what they did in 2022 and 2023 when everybody was hit by the bear market fatigue. If they continued to build, then heck, that's an opportunity that you should be looking at to say, okay, this is probably a play I want to be in for this bull run. Give them a chance, right? That's what I look for. So yeah, that was the alpha that I wanted to share here.
I love that. And I appreciate you sharing that. And I know people that are still, you always have to be learning. And it's always great to get somebody's opinion that has been around for 3 or 4 bull markets by now. I mean, you know how this thing works, right? You have a detailed plan. I know what your life goal and your strategy is, and I do think you're going to get there because you just have that talent and you know what you're doing. So 90% of iconic projects of this bull market won't be around here by the next. 50% of them won't even be in the top 100 in the next 12 months. So there's some truth to this. I really believe that over the next few years that, a high percentage could be higher than 90% of projects won't make it. We have so many layer 1s. We have so many layer 2s. Now we have layer 3s coming out, right? People are just building and building and building. They build hype with airdrops. But when you take a look really about like the technology and actually who's building on that network, it really doesn't shine through. And I do think we're way too oversaturated. And we're going to talk about that here in just a few moments, in just a few slides of how many crypto projects there actually are. It's always really good idea to take a look at what kind of token unlocks are coming. There's different technologies that you can use. I have shared a lot of this stuff there's a few channels in the community that we share some of these technologies where you can look up. And so just make sure whatever tokens that you are holding long-term, if they are bigger tokens, make sure you're checking to see what kind of unlocks are coming, because that might be an opportunity to just, because if millions of tokens are getting unlocked, normally people dump those tokens and move the money into something else that they feel might go up. They very rarely are going to hold on to those tokens. There's obviously some bigger investors that are just going to hold, but most people are just going to dump. So if you're holding some of these tokens, make sure you're checking to see if there's big unlocks coming. The Ethereum HODL Waves chart reveals investor behavior by highlighting their holding periods. Notably, there's a spike in Ethereum held for 1 to 3 years since 2021, signaling strong belief that it's a long-term value. Despite market volatility, short-term selling is rare. Long-term holders and with assets spanning over 7 years showcase unwavering confidence in Ethereum's core strength and growth of prospects through market cycles. I do want to touch base a little bit more on Ethereum here. Let me just move some of these over here. A market starved out of new money screams risk aversion. Tether's market cap, the mirror of sentiment, reveals digital asset demand. Rising caps signals growing interest. Falling ones show institutional retreat. For Bitcoin and digital assets to surge, we need a fresh wave of new stablecoins. So actually, I pulled up this chart here, and I wanted to show you something very interesting here, and it just speaks to this tweet. If you take a look, this is the last bull market. You can see that we went from 60 billion in stables in April, beginning of April 2021. Look at this chart. It's insane. It went up to 187 billion. Towards this April is kind of like when everything was kind of dying, right? But you just look at this growth from 60 billion to 187 billion. Now, if you look at where we are right now, you notice that the chart is not growing at the same rate as it used to. What tells us this is that new money isn't coming into the space at the rate that we want it to. So just be very careful. Right now, we're super oversaturated with how many crypto projects there are, and not everyone is going to make it. So once we see this start to really climb and new money starts to come in, then we know it's really on, and we really want to focus on the projects that we have. Let me see. So Consensus didn't even know that the SEC dropped the investigation. So if you didn't know, the SEC and the U.S. government was looking into Ethereum Gate and maybe some allegations that were put out there and created. It does look like that stuff is all behind us now. And there's this clip. I just want to play this clip and we'll move on.
This development signifies for the industry, if anything at all?
Well, it's hard to say. The letter itself was very short. It was very clipped. It said only that the investigation was concluded, no charges were being brought. But it even resisted, it disclaimed us drawing any conclusion from it, such as, that they found that Ether was a commodity and not a security. So although it's welcome that the investigation is over, it doesn't go far enough to provide the sort of transparency that the industry really needs as to why the SEC has closed this investigation and how that decision is relevant to the many other investigations and enforcement actions that are ongoing. So although we're pleased with the result, it just doesn't go far enough.
All right, so it kind of feels like they're leaving it to say, hey, we'll come back to this later, maybe. But Rod, did you have any opinions on Ethereum Gate? Were you following that at all? Kind of what was going on with the SEC several years ago when Bill Hinman gave that? Bill Hinman took $15 million. Then when it gave that free speech, Ethereum free pass speech, did you have any opinion on Ether being a security or a commodity?
I mean, it's so hard to kind of categorize it when we talk about security versus commodity. I mean, coming from the hedge fund world, I definitely have my own opinions on that. I mean, you could debate that it is a security all day long, and you can also debate that it's a commodity all day long. Yeah. There's a fine line, right? It's time that we come up with maybe certain guidelines and maybe create another asset class, that covers that. But I think the bottom line is that there is going to be a lot of those kind of loose ends that we're going to be seeing happening, especially coming from the SEC with regards to guidelines or regulations and things like that. And maybe historical data always works out, right? Yeah. And we do know that 2026 is going to be the next bear market. And that bear market is going to be bloody. It's going to be bad. And so obviously we could potentially see some regulations at that point, and maybe some of those actions that SEC will take at some point. Like if there might be something like FTX and Luna that we saw back in 2022, maybe something like that could happen. And then, that would drive some discussion around, okay, what is the commodity of what are we dealing with here? Maybe they will go after Ethereum, especially if we start to see Ethereum chain taking over again volume wise. Like if we could see potentially $10,000 to $20,000, let's say, for each Ethereum this bull market, I would like to see it at least go over 10,000. And if that was to happen, definitely, there's going to be some red flags that SEC might be looking at and saying, okay, this is insane. Because obviously at the end of the day, look at what's going on in equities market, right? We are talking about 10, 20% returns a year if you're lucky overall on your portfolio. In crypto, you are just taking it to a whole new level. You're making hundreds of X in a day. And that is a threat because it makes you financially dependent. You don't want to be working 8 to 5, right? You want to look for that financial freedom where you don't have to work. I mean, even looking at office at some point that I remembering my past where, hey, years and years ago, this was my life. It gives me literally PTSD, like, oh my God, that used to be my life. Like I could never imagine ever going back to that. And so people are going to have that, the sense of freedom that, okay, crypto gives me that freedom. But where does it stop? Because equities market used to be pretty good as well at one point, right? There used to be cycles that were following, over and over again, patterns that you could follow, make a lot of money. So maybe in crypto markets, it would be pretty similar at some point where it would be so over... there would be crazy valuation of everything. Like if Bitcoin is sitting at, multiple trillions of dollars in market cap, how far can you take it? Are we talking about 10%, 20% return a year at some point in our lifetime? Possibly. And so I think it's going to come down to when SEC will look into that very strictly, probably in 2026. I would not pass anything, I would not... say that this is not a possibility. I think it can definitely happen, but I think most of it is going to be in 2026. I don't foresee a lot of FUD between now and end of the bull market. It will be very, small amount of FUD, if any. Maybe something like XRP, because I remember how they were XRP was still an issue. So maybe some of those coins here and there, but not a ton of FUD coming from SEC. Probably in 2026, I think, is when we can see. One more thing I would point out here is wait for good news coming out of China. It basically, in my group, I always used to say, when China bring me good news. And so I think we are starting to see some of that. I would like to see more mining opportunities and, more support from China in crypto. I think we are we are getting close to that. So look out for the news coming out of China, because that's going to be a major move in the bull market as well.
Yeah, if we could get, over 1 billion people into the crypto market or back into the crypto market, that would be huge. I do think, we are heading for mass adoption here through regulation, right? Regulation is a very important piece that I think people kind of just pass over or, assume that we don't need it. If you really want to get a lot of these pension funds or these bigger institutions or these banks or these private companies to really go hard into crypto, having proper regulation where people understand, hey, this is a security, this is not a security, they would feel a lot more comfortable, I think. And they're dipping their toes in with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin performs extremely well over the next 6 to 12 months, I think that could really open the door for a lot of other assets. And I'm really excited about that. All right, global liquidity is rising, setting the stage for Bitcoin to skyrocket. The global liquidity index has consistently mirrored Bitcoin's highs and lows, so brace yourself for a major shift in 2025. This is going off what Lady Trader was just saying. 2025 should be a legendary year for crypto. I'm really excited. We might have a little turmoil towards the end of the year with elections, but I think once we get through that, I think it's going to be on. I did see this. The Winklevoss twins donated 30 Bitcoin to Donald Trump. Trump has been talking a lot about crypto regulation, and we're going to bring it all down to Florida, and it's going to be great and do all these things. when it comes to any politician, whether it's Republican or Democrat, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do, right? If you can definitely tell if Trump's team is starting to plan policy around crypto, that'll make the news. You're going to be able to see what his actual plan is. Right now, all I've heard was just words. The Biden administration is kind of leaning more towards passing crypto regulation. Biden did say that he would sign the FIT 21 bill if the Senate does approve it and pass it. So we'll have to see what plays out over the next few months, but that could be another narrative that could really fuel the market. Institutions are getting big on Ethereum. The open interest on CME ETH futures has rallied by 70% since the news of the upcoming approval of the ETFs. People are going long on Ethereum. And I do think if you're looking at Ethereum, if Ethereum might go to 10,000, 12,000 this cycle if things are really, really good, right? If things really heat up for Ethereum, that 100% gain or 200% gain might not be exactly what you're looking for. So where else can you find good opportunities? Well, I would say you could go into Ethereum's ecosystem with Lido staking and all of these other Anchor. There's a lot of other platforms and things that are built on top of Ethereum that could really benefit from all of this money and value coming into the ecosystem. Also, layer 2s on Ethereum. I've talked to you about this. I've actually shown you this months and months and months ago, but here are some really great Ethereum layer 2 solutions that could really benefit once everything really starts to rock and roll for Ethereum. So you have Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, Era, DYDX, which was actually called in the community a long time ago by Chris. Shout out to Chris. Mantle, Immutable, Linea, Starknet, Polygon, ZK, EVM, and Scroll. So I would be focused, like if you want to really do some better numbers and opportunities, I would be focused on layer 2s on Ethereum instead of Ethereum, but it's all kind of depending on what you really want to do. All right. 2.5 million new coins launched in 2024. This is the current issue with what's happening right now in the crypto market. There are just the explosion of meme coins on Solana, on Optimism, on Base, on Solana, Optimism, Base. I'm missing one. Shoot. Anyways, it's just been an explosion, and people are spreading their money out into all of these meme coins. A lot of these things, 99% of these go to zero. So a lot of people are just throwing away money here, but trying to just win one of those lottery tickets. But what was also said in this clip that is very important is this person believes that a lot of these layer 1s that have extremely high FDVs that launched at billions of dollars in market cap will never actually reach their all-time highs, let alone even higher. So I wanted to play this and actually ask Lady Trader for her opinion, as well as get your thoughts in the audience about what is said here.
What do you think of that thesis that, let's say by end of the year, we're past this and we're breaking all-time highs? Let's just see if I'm trying to get a feel for whether we agree on that or not.
I think it depends what market you're looking at. Not to cop out of the question, but we've seen tremendous amount of dispersion in this market where things that are actually good go up and things that are bad go down. And so I think that there's a large portion of this market that will never see all-time highs again, ever. I'm thinking of like all of the terrible L1s that came out at $5 billion valuation that just have insane net sellers and no actual usage on them. These things are not going to see all-time highs, in my personal opinion. Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm absolutely on the page of Santi. They 100% will. And the reason is because the fundamentals just continue to improve for these two assets. I think for Solana as well. Yeah. But if you are in the business of, let me go buy a world coin and hope that this 5Xs, I think that you're just in the wrong game at this point. That can work in a different market. That can work in a market where there's a ton of euphoria and everything's coming in. And I actually don't think that we're going to get that through the end of, we're not going to get crazy euphoria through the end of the year, because I think the veil has been pulled. People understand.
All right. Lady, what do you think? I mean, do you think a lot of these projects won't ever reach back to their all-time highs, especially the ones that launched at, 10 billion, 5 billion in FTV market cap?
Yeah, absolutely. This is exactly what I was talking about, right? When
Yeah.
we discussed ICP earlier at the beginning of this chat. ICP chart, I mean, that tells you, right, what could happen. Yeah, it never had a new all-time high during the bull market. And so we could potentially see the same thing again in a lot of coins that have launched at very high FDVs. And this is why we need to avoid those coins that are launching at FDVs. I mean, where are your Solanas and Ethereum of this bull market? Like, where do we see those opportunities where we can get in super early at a very low valuation, and then there is an insane growth opportunity where we are talking about 1000x, right, 2000x. We can see those opportunities right now in the meme coin market because they launch at, a super low market cap, fully in circulation, and then it has an insane opportunity. But we are not seeing this in the utility market right now, and we need to see those kind of projects. Yeah. So I think this is what I was, talking about earlier. Trends. I think the newest trend is going to be tokens that have already launched, projects like Ethereum network and these kind of projects, or storage chain. I mean, fully in circulation, no VC dump risk. I mean, those are the things that we need to be looking for and putting our money into those, because they are going to have new all-time highs, because there's going to be utility and there's going to be also no token unlocks and things like that. So absolutely 100% agree with this. I think most of the coins that launched at higher valuation are probably not going to see all-time highs.
Love that. I love your input on this. I did want to play this because they don't make scams like they used to. I really, when I played this, I started laughing. I remember this when I first got into crypto. It was back like 2019, and I didn't lose any money to this, but I just want to play this because if you haven't seen this, this is really funny. Let me just I want to play this.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. What's up, Big Connect?
All right. Anyways, Big Connect, this was a multi-billion-dollar scam, but I just, they don't put as much effort into the current scam meme coins that we see. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some memes real quick, and then we're going to move on to Solana and some other news. But memes are eating the world. Everyone is speculating on Bitcoin versus Ethereum flows, future ETFs, the impact of Mt. Gox coins, but meme coin dominance is ripping. And the flows are insane. Memes, CoinGecko are now at a $68 billion category that turns over 1/7 market cap in daily trading volume. So 1/7 of the daily trading volume is in meme coins right now. Memes are 10% of all trading volume. Memes are 60% of all ETH trading volume, and memes are 90% of the Solana market cap. Wow. It's not surprising that meme coins are traded more frequently, but the share of the market attention is undeniable. There are the flows of your portfolio. These are the flows your portfolio is competing for. Do your own research, but do not fade. So those are just insane numbers. I knew it was high, but can you imagine that 90% of Solana's market cap is meme coins? I mean, does this change? Lady, I'm curious. Can Solana pivot to actual real projects building on it, or is it forever going to be this meme coin craze bonanza that it is right now?
I would like to definitely see more utility-based coins, but right now, yes, Solana is the place for meme coins, but also most of Solana projects that are launching nowadays in meme coin category, they are dying left and right.
Yeah,
right? Not everything survives at all. And so it's like every day new coins are coming out, every day they're dying. And so you just have to be cautious. But I think I would like to see that. I'd be surprised though if we can get to 50%. Let's check back to see even if we can get to that 50%.
Yeah.
For meme coin, it may not get there, especially because Solana is one of those chains that's like love it and hate it kind of deal, because sometimes Solana network is down and then it's like, oh, okay, here we go, Solana is down again. And so maybe it is, we may not see that. I'd be very surprised to see 50% if that was to happen. I think we are going to stay above 50% for the most part. Maybe NFT volume will probably roll into this as well quite a bit. market, right?
Yeah.
Solana NFTs, at some point we're going to see that, and then we're going to be back to the whole ETH versus Solana war again. So yeah, I think we're going to stay above 50%. That's what I would say.
Do you think that institutions or banks, whatever it is, CBDCs, do you think they don't take Solana seriously because of the meme coins and then the issue with it going down all the time, and your transaction might not go through, or it's really slow right now? Do you think that's really something that these bigger companies are really looking to build on?
Yeah, I think this is a case too. But Solana is still like one of the top blockchains, right?
Yeah.
It is one of the top blockchains right now with a lot of volume. I think when we talk about the bank, I mean, there's one point that I wanted to throw it out there because that was something on my mind. Of course, banks are looking at all of the opportunities, right? They're going to be when diversification is a big deal when it comes to the regular financial markets. Everybody's talking about diversification, whether it's banks, whether it's companies like Fidelity and all of those things. And so I think Solana is going to make its way into ETFs at some point, either in the altcoin ETFs or blockchain ETFs or Solana ETF on its own. But then also when we talk about banks and things like that, I think we may also see stable coins that are coming out of the banks itself. Like maybe each institution would have their own stable coin.
100%.
I would love to see that. I mean, it's about time that we don't have to go through an exchange. Like every time I have to withdraw money, I have to spend so much money in fees just to kind of get my money into the bank. It would be so great to just be able to directly send money from my wallets into the bank account. I would love to see that this time. But I think coming back to Solana, we should see, I think there's going to be more people that are going to be looking at it more favorably. I would love to see Solana in 4 digits, this bull market, or at least getting super close to that.
Yeah.
So it has huge potential, though. Like when we talk about ROI, better than Ethereum, I think, in the long run. Especially if you caught the bottom, which my community did. We did catch the bottom on that. So yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think it was, JP and a few other people were talking about Solana. And we were talking about Solana in Sensei Chat back in September when this thing was, $18, right? And that, the super bottom was back in, December of 2020, right back here at $11, $9. But before the things got really heated up in October, November time, there was a really great opportunity here to do a 10x, and I hope you guys made some money. I did want to go over a few things here. So I just thought this was, CZ, CZ is a very interesting gentleman. I think he built something truly incredible for the ages. I know he gets a bad rap on some of the things that, Binance said, but it's such a big company, and he really did take the rap for a lot of this. And so I just thought this was really cool. CZ, ex-CEO Binance, made over $20 billion from jail. People who know coins, people who know coins, it's buying will turn 1K into 1 million. I think that was just a little bit laid out wrong. I analyzed 418 related wallets to find the next 100 gem. Here are 5 coins with the biggest pump potential. So I know there's a lot of people that are interested in this kind of content. So I'm going to post this. You have basically Pendle, which you've been talking about week after week. It's been doing really well. 1inch, Lido Finance, We Are Telor, and then Build on Beam, and there's a few other things. So I'm going to post this in the Cryptonairz chat. If you guys want to take a look at this, please do so. That'd be really, really cool. Also, lady, you want to talk about this? Kai?
Sure, go ahead.
So if you're not familiar with Kai, Lady Trader actually sent this to me. What was it? This was the 9th, I think it was, because I as soon as you sent it to me, I checked it out and I reposted it. This was 9 days ago, so this was, I think, the 12th. Let me just go back here on the charts. So right around here is what it was originally posted, about 9 a.m. my time, I think. So I just want to show you this really quickly. To this top. Hold on. I gotta do what's called. Let me just market cap. Let me just measure this real quick. Sorry about that. This thing did like a 35 or 40x from the original posting in the last 9 days. And so currently at the current price, I'm up about low six figures, about $100,000. I've cashed out about 18 or 20,000, and I'm still holding on to my bag. But this thing went up insane amounts. Hopefully I got that right. But is that 6,000%? Is that right? Could be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing has gone up 6,000% in the last 9 days. Obviously, this has come down to try to set some new higher lows. But a lot of people think this is going to blast off. Lady, what is your personal opinion on Kai? Is this you're holding long term? Do you think this is going to 50 million, 100 million? I'd love to get your honest opinion about this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll talk about this a little bit. So Japanese dogs right now, it's pretty hot topic, right? We saw Kindu. Kindu was actually one of the coins that I found super early on. I got in at around 500K, sent it to my community around 700K, and it's continuing to go up. It went close to 300 mil actually total. So insane amount of returns on that. And so and Kindu Inu, what ended up happening is that Shiba Inu whales are supporting this project, and it was also featured in SHIB magazine, which basically put it as one of the top meme coin opportunities that are brewing in the market right now. Now, what happens is that every time one token goes up, there's going to be similar coins that are going to be coming out because people do start to look for replacements and saying, okay, this is already sitting at over 200 mil. What can I get into that would potentially make me money? And so I started kind of connecting the dots, and that's how I found a few other coins. Kai was one of them. There was also another one called Hero, which is still kind of going up slowly. Kochi was another one. Quite a few other coins like right now. And so I kind of diversified my portfolio and started putting some funds into those and saying, okay, these potential opportunities could go up. Kai was one of them, and it had a solid community. This is another thing too, right? When it comes to meme coin, you got to look into that and see what kind of community you're dealing with. And so all of these Japanese coins started to pump. Kai went crazy. Yep. There is another stronger meta with it where they're talking about the last Inu. And so if that's the case, the last dog breed from the Japanese dogs, I think it has an insane potential. And if Kindu was to get a major listing, which it reminded me of my old days when SHIB was coming out. My family did get into that super early and basically held it through until the end of the bull market. And what happened is that initially everything was happening similar to what we are seeing right now in the markets with those Japanese dogs. So saw those similarities between SHIB and Kindu, held it long term, really happy with that, huge position size right now on that one. And then hoping that it can get to that because, this is from last bull market. 90 billion is what Shiba Inu hit. Wow. This bull market is going to be 10x bigger or 5x bigger, let's say. So if Shiba is going to go to, let's say, 500 billion or something like that, insane. We can see that it could potentially get 10, 20, even 50 billion on Kindu, and then maybe 20, 30 billion on Kai and these other coins. But meme coins they have a lot of risk, right? So you want to take a little bit of your profit, at least take the initials out. Yeah. Take the initials out as soon as possible, and then just let it run. It's moon or dust. Okay. If you want to take some profits, take it. But for some of these opportunities, imagine if it was to go to like 40 billion or something like that, it would be absolutely insane. The chip did, and a lot of people became whales and millionaires accidentally. Yeah. We are doing this intentionally, right? And so those intentional trades that are properly researched can create some pretty good returns.
You said it really well, right? We need to understand here as a group that meme coins are tremendously risky. 99.9% of them don't make it, past a few hours, a few days, a few weeks, right? This is the last Japanese dog, which I found super interesting when you shared this with me. That's why I shared it with the community. And could you imagine a $1 billion market cap for Kai? I'd probably be upgrading my pad where I live. I'll probably have a nice little beach resort I can invite you guys to. But this is really cool because I did make a few 100,000 on SHIB. I wish I got it a little bit earlier, but I do think one of these meme tokens, especially the Japanese dogs, can do really well. So there's one other meme token I wanted to bring up, Maganomics. This is actually a Solana coin that was shared in the community, like 700K. It went to like 2 million. Since then, it's gone down to like 300, 400K. But they launched an Ethereum version of this. And when I was looking at this, when I look at this, I obviously run it through some token trackers to see if it's a rug or see if there's any issues. There's a few Telegram bots you can use, but I also like to check the website, the Twitter, and the Telegram. So when I pulled this Twitter up, I saw just a lot of posting. This is really focused around Trump and MAGA, and there's tens of millions of people that support Trump and MAGA. And I think if you can find one of these tokens, they can start really taking off. Some of these coins have gone to $1 billion. And I just like the name Maganomics. This is kind of a shot, I think, at Bidenomics. And this went up 100% since I posted it yesterday. So we'll see if this keeps climbing. There was a lot of buying pressure here over the last, maybe 12 hours. And this thing has been kind of creeping up. So I did take a little bit of profits out of Kai and put it into a few other things. And I put I'd say I put about $5,000 or $6,000 into this. So, I've been able to double my money here in the last, 24 hours. But these are the tokens I'm really concentrating on. Also, Jenner, there's supposed to be something happened here. There's some huge buying going on. There's supposed to be a lot of buying here. There's supposed to be some centralized exchange listings. I did warn the community off the Solana version of the Jenner token that it was fake. I did actually save some members some money because I know that the token was trading about 7 million market cap. I made the members aware that this was a fake token, and the members, I think it was Brian, his name's Brian, but I think he listened and he sold his tokens. Now the Jenner on Solana token, if you just take a look here, is at 1.3 million, and this thing just took a nosedive to 1.3 million market cap from 8 million or 7 million. So they saved a ton of money getting out when I told them to. So that's really the benefit of being in a community like Cryptonairz. You actually are able to talk with other people, get other people's opinions, and find information early in alpha that can really make a difference. Just really quickly, $100 put into Kai would have made you about $4,000, $5,000 in the last 10 days. Just trying to give you some examples of kind of what we're talking about money-wise here, what you could have made on this meme coin if you would have followed. Obviously, it comes with high risk. So, I'm going to be holding on to all of these tokens right now. I've been able to take profits. These are all free rides. The only token that I still have my full money in that I haven't taken any money out is Jenner. I am up, this is about $25,000 position I took. This is extremely risky position. I don't recommend people follow me into a position of this size. But I do think the reason, Jenner and MAGA, there's something there. And personally, I do think this token is going to start doing extremely well. I could be totally wrong, but Caitlyn Jenner has been going around and talking about this token nonstop. They do have an exchange listing that they're going to announce very soon here. She was actually talking about it in this hour and 40-minute long clip that was posted yesterday. I don't know who Mika is. I guess this is her friend or somebody popular, but if Caitlyn Jenner is able to promote this token really and get it onto exchanges because of her name, I think 7 or 8 exchanges listed the fake token. So if they can get the real one up, I think it's going to do extremely well. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. I'm just kind of trying to show you what I'm doing with some of my meme coin projects. I just wanted to put this really quick in front of you, though. Meme coin dominance in alt markets is declining. CT would be shifting from gambling to focusing on fundamentals. This definitely is going to happen. Doesn't mean necessarily that meme coins won't still do well. I just think people are realizing, hey, this is like a summer fun thing. We need to shift back to utility. A lot of people have been losing a ton of money on memes. I've lost a lot of money on Solana meme coins. I've been doing really, really well on Ethereum meme coins. I'm going to stick to Ethereum, I think. But just wanted to put this in front of you that it is declining here. So we'll see where this money shifts, hopefully back into utility and altcoins, and we are headed up from there. A few other things I want to show you here. DeFi has flipped meme coins for a mind share, a very rare sight in this cycle. You have AI here, the strongest, 23.87%, DeFi 11.85%, meme coins is about 10%, GameFi 8.31%, ETFs 6.25%, ZK 7%. This is really showing you what people are interested in right now, that the heat map of what people are interested in investing in. The projects leading the DeFi mindshare reveal Pendle. So Pendle, Uni, and Link, right? Pendle's this showing, and I think this is a day old, maybe, no, 21st. This is actually a few hours old. Pendle's up 8.3%. Actually, if you were in Sensei Chat the last 2 or 3 weeks, I was telling you about Pendle, and how I thought it was going to do well. You'd have been up really nicely. Uniswap is up 6.17%. Link 4.47%, and some other stuff is, some of it's up, some of it's down. Can't really be too excited about that, but the biggest gainer of narrative mindshare over the past week, I guessed it, is DeFi. So this is really good to see. People are shifting their focus back on what really matters. DeFi, you have real world assets. This looks like Omnichain. chain abs. What is chain abs? I don't know what that acronym stands for. Anyways, decentralization, BRC20. Lady, what do you think BRC20 runes? I mean, Bitcoin, what is it? Oh God, I can't remember. Bitcoin halving happened. I don't know why my brain wasn't processing that. When the halving happened and runes launched, it's kind of felt like people lost interest in runes. Do you think that's going to come back?
It might come back, but BRC20 definitely gonna stay.
Okay.
We have quite a few collections in the NFT markets as well. When we talk about ordinals, I think this is gonna stay. We have Ordi, which is one of the major play for BRC20. I think Bitcoin ecosystem is definitely gonna make a comeback. There are also opportunities that are coming up, like Blyph is a project that's coming up that's backed by Animoca that I'm super bullish on. Amazing project there, and I think it's gonna be a major player in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I think this bull run is, since it is gonna be pretty Bitcoin heavy and Bitcoin focused, we can see Bitcoin ecosystem potentially picking up and basically, like, looking at all this list, for example, DeFi and all of those others, like the top 5 have already made their moves, and then the bottom ones are the ones that you should be looking at, that okay, these are probably going to pick up at some point. We don't even see gaming into this list at all. So definitely, you get into those, like, you box that you're showing earlier, the heat map, it showed in the red category. Red is when you want to buy this one, exactly. So I mean, you want to look at GameFi right now, amazing category to be a part of. L2s, same way, right? Those are 2 that are pending. The greens have already made the move. I'm not saying don't get in yet, because greens are still huge potential, but those reds are where, multiple X's are waiting for you, bigger ROI than the green ones. So
well said.
Great opportunity.
Well said. Yeah, the focus is on AI, but the opportunity is in the red. Well, really well said. I'm glad you brought that up. A few other things we want to talk about here too, right? I showed this last week. This is basically in the last, in July, over 1 million different projects. Optimism, Ethereum, Base, Blast, Arbitrum is where a lot of this building is going on. You can see Base is in blue here, Ethereum is in gray, and Optimism. I mean, has anyone trading on Optimism? I haven't seen too many projects, but this says over 250,000 launched, unless I'm looking at this wrong, right? It has the full red here. I don't know. Lady, are you trading anything on Optimism?
No.
Yeah, me neither. That's really strange. I didn't realize that. I mean, so many things were being created on Optimism. It's anyways. Few other things. We do have a giveaway going, guys. If you want to be a part of it, all you just need to do is follow the instructions here, and we are giving away some money. We're going to be doing some giveaways inside of the community for y'all too. Just pay attention to announcements. I did want to bring this up too. BRICS pay wholesale CBDCs. When it comes to CBDCs, I feel that Ripple and Quant have the 2 best technologies that banks are going to want to use. I do feel like every bank eventually is going to have their own stablecoin. You're still going to want a great bridge asset. Banks won't hold each other stablecoins because of risk. So Bank of America is not going to want to hold JP Morgan stablecoin. JP Morgan is not going to want to hold Wells Fargo stablecoin. And so you really do need some type of bridge asset, or all of these. If you have all of these different bank tokens, CBDC tokens, whatever they are, stablecoins on the same ledger, that value can move seamlessly from ledger to ledger, which is actually really, really exciting. But it just does point out Russia, India, Brazil, China, and South Africa in the PASA region. Ripple does have connections in all of these countries, so it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. This cycle kind of loading. Last cycle is all done. This cycle, we're still at the very kind of the beginning of this, so there's a lot of road ahead. Germany seized Bitcoin holdings are the 4th largest. This is really quickly just show you how much Bitcoin each of these countries has because of this seizing from illegal activities. United States still has 213,000 Bitcoin, China 190,000, United Kingdom 61, Germany 50,000. So interesting to see when these countries are going to sell this Bitcoin. Solana co-founder encourages mobile devs on Solana to incentivize users to switch to Solana Mobile by offering digital assets as incentives. So, Solana had a really good trick. Buy their mobile phone and get Bonk token. A lot of people did, but now they're looking to actually build some utility onto the phone, not just giving you a meme coin. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I know that BioFi is actually working with a few crypto projects. Nothing is signed, sealed, and delivered yet, but they're trying to do something very similar by offering other tokens for when you're staking your BioFi. You get BioFi and a different token. So we'll see how that goes. I'll talk to Brian to see if he's made any headway about that. I can't really drop the project yet, but it is a very well-known project that if I said it, you would know it. All right, the big news here. Today, we're introducing ZK compression to Solana directly on the L1 without requiring L2s. This changes everything you thought you knew about Solana scaling L1s. TLDR, we compress on-chain state to get 10,000x scale improvements and get one step closer to building the financial computer, an unstoppable global atomic state machine syncing at the speed of light. For non-technical folks, developers can now build and scale literally anything they want directly on Solana without needing to leave it, which is actually a huge deal. Example cost difference, take an airdrop to 1 million users. Today, this would cost you $260,000. Now it's for $50. That is really incredible. But a token account is just one example of everything on Solana is an account, meaning everything can be scaled. For technical folks, there are two costs on Solana: compute and state. Solana already has cheap compute, but state is very expensive. Allocating accounts, paying rent, and scaling with users have been shown to have a massive roadblock for Solana devs. Now this is fixed. And if you're in a bit more technical, you'll know that the state growth is a major issue for scaling blockchains. Well, with this, you can compress all Solana state. And this will further have implications for hardware requirements and the overall performance of the entire network. This is just day one. There will be challenges, of course, and they will overcome them as we have done before. So you combine this, add the Fire Dancer, multiple concurrent leaders, async execution in the ecosystem of thousands of insanely cracked devs, and you'll have a real shot at this crypto thing accelerate. So that is some huge, huge news for Solana. It really hasn't made too much impact on the price, but I think it will eventually, like Lady Trader said. Pantera Capital doubles down on Solana, calling it the new Mac OS of blockchains. That is really big news. And then this is a breakdown. Total market cap of Solana deep-in projects have surpassed $4 billion. If you wanted to know what those projects are, Render, Helium, IONET, Nosana, Power Ledger, Helium 5G. I don't know anybody that uses Helium. Hive Mapper, Shadow, Helium IoT, and Media to round out those projects. There are a few other things. Yeah, there's a few other things I wanted to get to here, and then we'll take some questions. U.S. technology funds saw a $9 billion inflow last week, the largest weekly inflow ever recorded. The previous record was posted in Q1 2023, as amounted to $8.5 billion, according to the Bank of America. Long Magnificent 7 has been the most crowded trade for 15 consecutive months. As a result, the Magnificent 7 has exceeded $15 trillion in market cap for the first time in history. Currently, the Magnificent 6 account for a record of 32% of the S&P 500 market. So, I mean, I'm not too big into stocks, but what this tells me is there's a lot of money in just 6 or 7 companies. And if one of those companies starts to have issues or layoffs or technical issues, that could really affect the stock market. Lady, you kind of come from this world. What do you think? Is the stock market kind of like a huge bubble right now? Do you have any input on the actual market?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely, there are definitely some overvalued stocks right now in the market. S&P 500, a lot of people were actually expecting that, there's going to be a lot of issues in the S&P, and we're going to see, stock market basically crashing potentially, which didn't happen. A lot of people were super bearish, actually. And now when we see S&P 500, it continues to go up and up and up. And it's basically, I mean, at all-time highs right now and breaking all-time highs all the time. It's like an everyday thing right now in S&P 500. But yeah, definitely some overvalued stocks. I do think that at the end of the the year is, I think, when we can see some action in the S&P 500, especially during the elections, right? And also there is an important data point that I would discuss that I haven't really talked about publicly yet this year either, is we should know with a pretty high certainty on who is going to win at the end of October, according to historical data. There's a very special data point that's basically S&P 500 related. If the last 3 months leading up to November are closing green, then the current administration will potentially stay. And if it does close red, then we are looking at potentially a change of administration. And that data has been very, very consistent. I think over 85% or something like that, if you look at from the beginning, and then 100% if you look at the last, I think, 20 or 30 years or something like that. I would have to review that. I review it every election. Last year, it was completely like 100% accurate also. And so I'm hoping that we can get those, which will create some opportunities for us to get into the market, right? Yeah, especially in the crypto market, like, with Trump inspired coins or Biden inspired coins, depending on who it is that we think is going to win. But that's a very, very interesting data point to look into.
What's interesting though, no matter who wins, I'd imagine that one way or another, people are still going to be bullish on, those type of, political meme coins, maybe even more so. Like if Trump were to lose, maybe Trump coins are going to explode because people want to support Trump, or I don't know, I just think it's interesting. But thank you for, I had no idea about that, the market closing, and that's a really cool point. I'm going to be paying attention to that and see if that actually happens. That's really, really, really interesting. Just one more thing about this. Big tech's dominance is growing since 2002. NASDAQ companies' earnings relative to the S&P have increased from 4.5% in 2002 to a record 40%. In other words, net income of tech companies has risen significantly faster than the profits of S&P 500 companies. As a result, the NASDAQ is up 816%, since 2002, while the S&P is 500 is up 378%. Furthermore, tech stocks now account for a record of 44% of the S&P 500 market cap. So if you're trading stocks, hey, now's a really good time to have a plan for all of this stuff. Bloomberg U.S. Economy Surprise Index has plummeted to the lowest level since March of 2019. The Economic Surprise Index measures economic data coming in above or below consensus estimates. The index dropped below -40 as most of this year's data has been below expectations. The metric is down over 100 points in less than a year, recording the steepest decline in the last 5 years. Most recently, retail sales, building permits, housing starts, the initial jobless claims, all came below expectations. Are expectations too high, or is the economy weakening? So we'll have to see how all this plays out over the next few months here. I did want to bring up one other token that I didn't do when I was doing this. I resetted my cache and it resetted all my stuff. Let me see. It's not a higher on base, higher on AVAX. I think this is it. 137,000. Okay. All right. So, let me do this. I'm going to sign off. If you want to continue the conversation, come into the Cryptonairz Discord. I have to sign off YouTube because we're going to talk about some things that I just don't want to have recorded. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you. I'll see you on Tuesday for another show. Thank you.